Welcome to the brand new video of the Target Individual program. Look at this person. Look at this person, man. Like I tell you, the whole blocking theme. And you think this shit is an accident, right? Alright? You got a red vehicle too. You think that shit is an accident, a coincidence? Nope, they do that shit on purpose. Right? They do that shit. It's the whole blocking theme. I've talked about that before. Right? They always send people on the street to stand up in front of you as you're walking to block you or what have you. And then from time to time they'll get vehicles to do the exact same thing. Right? You know, like I said, man. Anyhow, when the people have been defeated, they will resort to the religious indoctrination that they were taught. Okay? They don't want to think any other way, because when the human mind has been so traumatized and so conditioned a certain way that in order to protect itself, it will ignore the reality and indulge in the fantasy. This is who we are as black people in America. Okay, indulge in manifestation and magical thinking, you know, and I'm so blessed. I got up this morning. I'm alive. Go, you know, where the poor and the working poor, a lot of health issues, while other groups are building technology and have been building technology that they stole from our ancestors. Okay? That they stole from us. And they hid it from us. Okay? And they lie. And they want to say that, and then the Arabs comes along and profit off of our ancestors and talk about how they are descendants of the ancient Egyptians or Kemetic. I'm like, get the F out of here. And they know it, but they keep gaslighting, and we know it. We see it. And they gaslight us. They'll say shit like, yeah, you know, they were black skin, but they were not Negro. They were not black Negro and Africans. Because why? Because they've exported one particular phenotype of black African and said these are what Negroes look like. Not understanding that you have black people. Well, that's, you know, they understand. We tend to believe the bullshit that they feed us. But they know that the Africans are the most diverse people on this planet. Okay, there is no such thing as white hair, white lips, a white nose. It's all Africans. Okay, you go to the Congo, depending on which region you are, will determine what features you would have likely developed, okay, as human beings were developing, right? So you go to Ethiopia, you see how the vast majority of black people in Ethiopia look. You go to the Congo, the vast majority of how they look. You go to Kenya, you know what I'm saying? You know, go to Uganda, go to South Africa. You have a lot of the light-skinned type black Africans, right? And they're not mixed with Europeans. You know, black people, we have over 100 different type of diversity in terms of physical features, right? Europeans, you don't have that many, okay? I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's low. I know it's lower than 10. You know, you take the DNA example of black women. They have the most genetic diverse DNA of including more than including us black men. So it's I think when they attack me the way they attack me, I get like this, right? I want to speak more of the truth so that they understand and they should know that whenever they attack me like this, all you're going to do is just, spark that intellectualness within me, right? You're going to spark more of the truth that's going to come out from me, all right? So yeah. Like I said, there is no white features. It's all African. Everybody have our features, okay? So I don't use the term like, you look European or European standard of beauty. That's just African. The only standard of beauty they have is their whiteness. It isn't their nose, it isn't their lips. It's their whiteness. Okay? That's it. It isn't their hair, even though they got us thinking that. Okay? It's their whiteness, or what they call their whiteness. Again, a social construct. Because even they themselves know that they came from black people. Right? But they won't admit it. Go read their history. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? They've hide our history from us. And we should be angry. I know when I think about it, I get angry. Not angry to the point that I want to go and harm some white people. No. I get angry to the point that, that these people are so wicked and vile that we as black people, we've educated them over and over and over. Right? And this is what they do. When you find out that black Africans was in Europe prior to slavery in some of the highest and held some of the highest positions in the kings and queen courts in Europe and then within European society, and then we see all these movies of medieval Europe and Europe in the 1600s and the 1400s and the 1300s, what have you, and you don't see no black faces, right? When there were a lot of, black people in Europe. And then the expulsion of the Hebrews, the Israelites, which wasn't the European Caucasian so-called Jews, okay? These were black Africans that they expelled from France, from Portugal, right? These were black people who've been practicing their Hebrew faith, right, for millennia. And again, even though, you can believe in religion, have your religious faith, your religious belief, but it's just a belief. Okay, just like the Greeks mythology, right? The Greek mythology been around before the concept of this Abrahamic, I should say the New Testament, because the New Testament was written first, and then they wrote the Old Testament afterwards. Okay, so that's just to let you know the bullshit that they try to put on us, and we believe it. Not just us, but white people too. White people have been bamboozled also. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But they don't care because, again, today's society, modern society today, their privilege overrides the truth. So, do they care? No, they don't. Very few do. Okay, very few. All right. So, like I said, when I speak the truth, I speak the truth, not just on the black side of it, but also on the white side of it, because white people have been duped also. But because they're privileged, and over the past 300-400 years, the privilege that they've gotten from being white and from Africans being enslaved in the Western world, and this society is basically meant to benefit them as a whole, as a group. You know, they hold on to that privilege for their life. You know, if they lose their privilege, they think that they'll lose their life, and no. You know, like I said, go read the book Wedico, man. Go read that book Wedico. Okay, it's an amazing read. I haven't read all of it, but what I've read so far, it shows you the mindset of these people. And you know, like I said, that's why I said I understand their mindset, because the more I study their mindset and I study this program is a reflection. Look, the red car. You're blowing his horn. What are you blowing your horn for? You know, want to get my attention? There's a red car. Okay. Right. So anyway, as I was saying, go and read that book, and also the book Dirt. Go read the book Dirt. Okay. And I bet you you'll start to see things in a different light. Okay. All right. And go read the book Our Son God Christ. All right. Go read that book. You're making all that noise for nothing, man. All right. You're making all that noise for what? All right. Because the gray car passed by. So you want to get my attention? You park. There's no need for revving your engine like that. Anyhow, you know, go read that book. And it talks about, and guess what? This is a Catholic priest that wrote that book, right? Talk about how Europe was going through the worst, the plagues that spread through Europe. And how they came out of it. How you think they came out of it? This was a plague by the Catholic. Look, he's flicking this light. Is he flicking this light? All right. So, how did they come out of it? Right? Because you know they always claim they destroyed the books, and no, they went into the books that they claimed that they destroyed when, you know, the Moors was driven out of southern Europe. They went to those books that they took. Okay, because the Moors were teaching, you know, if you go and read the history of Europe, right, particularly from the 700s to the 1400s, this was when you had the golden age in Europe. Why? Because the Moors, the black Moors, created universities. We didn't even know this stuff. You know, and when you know it, you see, what was it? Somebody had said, I think it was Asa Hill was watching, and he was like, you know, for white people to admit the lies, right, would be to go against their best interests. Okay? Because their survival and privilege is based on us believing on the lies that they've told us, that they've taught us. Okay? And to me, you know, what can I say? You know? This is why they attack critical race theory. Right? This is why they don't want their kids to learn about slavery and the enslavement of black people. This is why they'll try to make you know, idiotic comparison between slavery and Africa. You know, they had every civilization enslaved people. First of all, no civilization had chattel slavery. That is a European invention. And the Arabs, right? Again, they were some of the most brutal enslavers also, particularly when it comes to the African male. But they was increasing their population by breeding with the female slaves, black slaves. Okay, black enslaved Africans who were female. Okay, so a lot of these Arabs think that they're white. Yeah, you need to go get a DNA test and you'll find out. Okay, you will find out. You know, but even Arabs were once black people. Right? If you look at old photos of Arab people, they were black also. You know, this whole whitewashing only started about 200-300 years ago. You know, when they find out that they can make a profit off of digging the graves of our ancestors. putting them on display, or selling them on the black market, right? Come on now, they don't. The only reason why they're so protective over our and then trying to claim it as theirs is because they profit off of it. Same as how America profit off of black talent, black music, black shows. I mean, you look at these Fox News, all these other new TV network that pop up over the past 20 years, right? At first they have predominantly black shows, and then as the audience increase, and the thing is that white people were watching some of these black shows. That's how the number increases, and then they start implementing just white shows and get rid of the black shows. That's what they've been doing. You look at R&B music. Who's singing the most R&B music today now? White people, right? And then you just let to see these flooding of white rappers, who are the biggest sellers of rap music, in the rap music industry today. Rock and roll. Black people created rock and roll. White people benefit off of it. They took it over. Country music. Black people created country music. White people took it over. And then deny us from, doing country music. But again, what can I say? I keep saying, the history is there. The history, we just gotta look at it for what it is. And when they steal our music or they steal what we create, they create a protectionism system around it. So you can no longer benefit the shit that our people create, that black people create as a black person. You can't benefit from it. But that has always been the history. That has always been the history. To steal, to lie, to deceive, to manipulate. Okay? But again, they like to talk about history. Yeah, let's look at their history, because their history is a hell of a lot worse than any other group of people history. Right? Why do you think they built the Great Wall of China? Right? After the Chinese saw what they had done in India and other parts of the world, they were like, no, we're not. No. We need to build this. We need to, keep they call them barbarians. We need to keep the barbarians out. The Romans called them barbarians. It's funny how every group of Europeans that invaded Africa, or Kemet, I should say, they were once called barbarian first, and then they get educated, and then turn around now and want to call black people savages and all that, come into the so-called new world. It's never a new world. It's a new world to them because they haven't sailed this part of the world before when they first came to these shores in the Caribbean, and going back into Africa in the 17th century, right? Because they have been locked out of Africa by the Arabs, particularly North Africa, by the Arabs, right? Look at who created gunpowder. It wasn't white people, right? You know what I'm saying? But they started creating things after we educate them, right? After the Asians educate them, after the Arabs educate them, after the black Africans educated them. Okay? And I'm not saying this to disparage them. I'm speaking on it because it's the truth. And you would think that they would be grateful and honor the people that taught them. But no. Nope. And that's the problem I have. Anyway, I don't know what's up with this bus, but it's retaliation. It's gonna take a long time for this bus to come, okay? Yeah, the retaliation is fierce, man. It's fierce. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.